Culture Club is brought to you by Tropical Ice.
My name is Lenny Fejeran. I'm from Agate, born and raised. I left when I was 18. I went to the States. I worked a lot of different jobs, but ultimately ended up in the restaurant industry. Learned what I could, eventually ended up in downtown LA with my wife Pika, who was going to USC at the time. And we had our first child and moved back home and opened our first business in 2010 called Pika's Cafe. Cooking was a gift from my family, right? Like growing up in Agate, we had a huge back kitchen. My grandmother taught all her kids, 14 of them, how to cook. My dad was the oldest. They all had their specialty, and the kitchen was basically like a commissary setup. A good environment to learn, and I learned all the local stuff. I know the flavors from when I was a baby. Probably when I was in the womb, I was eating good Chamorro food. So now all my restaurants kind of reflect that, at least the ones that I cook in. You know, in kitchen lingo, when this place was open, I wasn't the chef here. My partner Lingo was a chef, but still, like, he grew up, you know, in the South and in Santa Rita, and we both, like, I don't know, we just have an understanding of what like people here like to eat. So yeah, with that, with all the restaurants, I started making a hot sauce, and pandemic hit, and you know, there's a lot of pivots there. But anytime I get an opportunity to get in the kitchen and cook for someone is a very peaceful and stress-free time for me. I love cooking. You gotta be able to adapt. You gotta have a fire inside you. Like, you gotta be able to push through like whatever comes in your way. You got to be able to make quick decisions, you know, like you gotta just be able to like make that decision and just go, right? Just roll with it, and that's where that fire kind of comes from too. You know, as you mature, I guess, you start to realize how to hold back a little bit, but I think in the beginning, you got to just keep that fire burning. It's so important, you know, and our language is really the core of our culture. Our culture comes from our language, and the language has been taken away from us, and that's what we try to, I mean, you know, you see Denancy brand, and, you know, although it's, you know, it's not spelled correctly, sorry for the teachers, you know, in the public school system, but it's just a brand, and it speaks our language to others, you know, and the language is such a beautiful thing because it provides a person with their identity, you know, and their culture. It's the core of it. So it's super important, you know, for us. Language and culture really is personal. It's not like, oh, nobody speaks Chamorro. Who are we gonna talk to? You know, there's nobody, like, you can't go to the store and talk Chamorro. I mean, you can, but really that's not what it's about. It's about having a good foundation for yourself, for your home, and for our island community. And that's where it starts. It starts with our culture, and through all my businesses, you see it. The culture is definitely, you know, at the forefront always. Today, I'm Lenny Fejeran, local entrepreneur. KUAM has always been there for us, and I'm proud to be a part of the KUAM Culture Club.
Culture Club is brought to you by Tropical Ice.